entertainment news, the stage is set for music's biggest night. Who will the big winners be of the 2021 Grammy Awards? Variety Magazine's deputy music editor Jim Eswan joins us now live with a preview of tomorrow's big ceremony. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
All right, so let's first off talk about the world that is COVID. We're still in a pandemic. How does this award show go virtually, and what are the conditions that are going to be as they hand out these Grammys?
Well, what they've done that's different from other award shows is they're actually trying to bring people together. Everything's taking place at the Los Angeles Convention Center, which is right next to Staples Center, their usual home. Parts are pre-taped, parts are live. They're trying to make it so you can't tell which is which. But the idea is to make it feel like people coming together. There's no normal audience, but the performers are going to be performing for each other and fellow nominees. There's going to be 4 separate stages, and everyone is going to be socially distanced but able to watch the performances in that way. So it's going to feel probably more live than some of the other award shows we've seen.
Jim, I have a feeling, and I'm not the only one, but when I watched the Golden Globes and they had these split screens, I had to think that some of these people already knew they had won. Is that the case? Are we really handing out the biggest awards via Zoom, and they have got no clue that they're about to win?
As far as I know, that's the way it's going to work. As far as I know, the awards presentations are going to be live. As for whether people know in advance, I mean, that's not for me to say. Sometimes it looks like they do. Sometimes it looks like they don't. To be fair, it is extremely difficult to put on an awards show during a pandemic. So, there may have been like some fudging of usual rules that people don't normally do, but I don't know that.
All right, so let's talk about the big winners, the big losers. I love asking this question when it comes to an awards show. Number one, who is the slam dunk? What is the one category that we know is going to win? And then number two, what could be kind of a surprise category where one of these artists are going to jump up and win that maybe we didn't expect?
Well, there's no sure thing with the Grammys ever. There's always surprises every single year. Now, I would count on big nights for Beyonce. She's up for 9 awards, even though she only released 1 new song this year. But it's a great song. And, she's up in other categories as well. I also think that Taylor Swift is going to win big. It's easy to hear that and say, duh. But this was a very different kind of album for her. Calmer. It was made during the pandemic. It's not about the pandemic, but it was made during it. So that kind of works in its favor. It's very contemporary in that way. And it's also a change of pace for her. It's a bit more mature, kind of adult. It reminds me of another big winner from, I think, 2015, Beck's Morning Phase record, which was, another, it's technically a rock record, but pretty low key. So I think she's going to win big. And Billie Eilish could have a big look as well. I mean, she's coming off of, I think it was 8 wins last year. But, when an artist is up again in a second year, the momentum tends to work in their favor. Do I still have time for surprises?
Yes, you do. Absolutely. We're gonna hang out for surprises for sure.
Okay. For surprises, I would say that Phoebe Bridgers might have a good look. I wrote the cover story on her for Variety, but that's not why we're saying that. I just think that her music speaks to multiple generations because she's very much of the, last few years of, indie rock performers, female indie rock performers. Most of the innovation in rock music these days is coming from women. So she comes from that, but also she grew up on, 70s California rock, Jackson Browne and Joni Mitchell and Bob Dylan and things like that. So it's going to sound familiar to an older demographic, and things that sound like that tend to be a sweet spot for Grammy voters.
All right, you're talking about new artists there. Ingrid Andress had a really good year. Doja Cat had a fantastic year. And then you've got Megan Thee Stallion also in there. Very quickly, we've heard a lot about The Weeknd. Why is he so upset?
Well, it's almost impossible to summarize that quickly, but he is upset, understandably, because ordinarily when an artist has the kind of year that he has had, it is his After Hours album and especially his Blinding Lights single are like a couple of the biggest records of the last 10 years. And he didn't even get nominated. Okay, ordinarily, when an artist has a year like that, you're talking about Adele, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, they walk away with 4, 6, 8 Grammys. He didn't even get nominated. And at the heart of that is what they call the secret nominating committees. And what those are is like they're a group of experts, industry experts, executives, producers, and people like that, who, for certain categories, will determine the final list of nominees. Now, that was originally instituted because when you've got thousands and thousands of people voting, you lose a level of expertise. This was intended to fix that, but what may be happening is that there is self-interest involved, that some of the people on these secret committees have a connection to potential nominees. And you look at some of the people who did get nominated instead of The Weeknd, and it's just like, what? So it's not about an artist's hurt feelings. It's not about angry fans. It's about something fundamentally wrong with the nominating process that seems impossible to deny.
Jim Eswan of Variety Magazine, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you.